we off?
Hi, this is Author Talk with Sandy and Russell.
Our second one.
Second podcast. Yay. Are you loving this?
Not yet so far.
One thing about Russell, he's always honest. I love that.
And Amy behind the camera.
Amy. Who are you, Amy?
Hey! You get to see my face on this one.
Okay, so we told you on our last one, remember our first podcast, and if you haven't seen that, go watch it. It is an interview with Fernando Brady from Houston Writers Guild. So go watch that. And we told you on that one, we were going to tell you the story about how Russell and I met. So we're going to do that today and then tell a little bit about our journey so you can use the tips that we've learned. And I learned as much from Russell as he has. Did you learn anything from me at all?
Yeah, I never made it without.
So we're going to talk about that, and then we want your questions. What would you do in a certain scenario to get publicity for your book?
And I have some surprises for you.
Really, that's a surprise.
I know. In our future podcast, we're going to have a police officer to come on and answer writers' questions that they have. So if you're working on something right now and you have a question that you would like to ask a police officer about what they would do, send it on Author Talk to Sandy, and then she'll make a list, hopefully, and then we'll have this list to ask him. He helped me one day because I was working on a confrontation between a captain and a detective, and he said, well, that's not the way it would work. There would be a sergeant, and they would tag team me. I went back, and it was a lot better scene after
Well,
that.
it's great to talk to somebody that's experienced in that field. So what if somebody had a legal question? Know any good attorneys that they might contact?
I know some pretty good ones, but we better get back.
Okay. Back to talking about our story. So I show up as a sponsor with a table at the Houston Writers Guild's September conference, which is called Indiepalooza for independent authors. I had a table there. I went to one of the breakout sessions, and the people on the panel in this breakout were an author, a publisher, and a publicist. And they're talking all this stuff about being a publicist. And all of a sudden, this man stood up and said, where would I find a publicist?
Well, it's because they said, and it turned out to be one of the few good pieces of advice I got out of that thing, was you needed to get a publicist about 6 months before you were ready to launch your book, because you had all these things to do. And I thought, okay, that's a good idea. And
is that when you stood up?
That's when I stood up and said that, and then.
And I'm sitting there, so I'm not on the panel. I'm not a speaker. I just have a table, but I'm like, I'm not going to let somebody ask, where do you find a publicist? And I'm sitting here and I don't respond.
Because a lot of people think, how do you find one?
Oh my gosh! So I stood up and said, okay, I'm a publicist, and I'd like to know, where should I be? Because I have people all the time saying to me, where were you when I started writing my book?
Or 6 months before, when it was time to get one.
And so Russell gave me his card after that session.
And someone else did too.
And Minot gave me her card.
And she's already got 3 books out.
She does.
We'll have her in the future.
We will have her on, yes. And you and I met at the little coffee place downtown. That's when I found out you lived downtown.
Right.
Then I wanted to come visit you all the time because I'm.
And that's where we are now. We're out by the pool right now.
The pool on the 8th floor. Oh my gosh.
That's where we had the NFL parties this week.
Oh, that's true.
I know, and they got it all cleaned up already.
Super Bowl was here this past week, right outside in Russell's front yard, actually.
Yeah. They need to get out of my yard.
Invading on your space.
By the end of it, we were ready for them to get out of our yard.
I believe that.
Anyway,
we want to talk about how we tell you how we met. Now we want to talk about some of the things we've done as his publicist. So I've now been your publicist for about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, no, actually more than a year.
Has it been more than a year?
It seems we really got going. It was about this time of year. Remember, we went through 2 phases before the book started, and then after the book started, and then we had to step it up. This is about stepping it up.
Okay, because the book was actually published or we launched it in July.
Right.
So, okay, good.
But we meant to launch it in May, but since I never meet any deadline I write at, we wound up being July.
That would be the book they're
That's Maryland. Maryland's traveled all over the world.
Yes, she has.
So I want to give you some tips and things that we've done together, and then you comment and whatever.
I'm sure
whatever
I'll
you
comment.
normally do. So the first thing I
Hi,
talked to
Melinda.
Russell about. Hi, Melinda.
Melinda says hi, Russell and Sandy.
Hey, boss.
Boss. We're not in your front yard, Melinda.
We're in your backyard.
Melinda's his wife. So, for those of you that don't know that are watching, it's Melinda is Russell's wife.
She does a really good blog, too. I put it on my blog.
She does. I
She's
love
a
reading
very
them.
good writer.
They're
I
good.
love it. Melinda, you and I still have to talk. So, one of the first things I asked you was, what are your goals for this book? What do you want to accomplish? Are you writing this just so you can say I'm an attorney and I have a book? Or are you writing it so you'll be on the New York Times bestseller list? Or are you writing it to sell truckloads of books? Because the answer to that is very important. You want to know what you want to accomplish, because that will focus, the rest of your efforts will be focused on reaching whatever goal that you set.
That's right. My goal was to just get it out there.
Absolutely.
Not,
And
not
another thing,
necessarily to make money or anything. Get it out there.
and you told me from the beginning, your goal was not to sell a lot of books necessarily. You'd be happy if we did.
I'd like to sell books.
You like to sell books.
Melinda would like it if I would sell a book.
No, Melinda, we're working on that. However, your goal was to get the word out.
Right.
And so even at your book launch, we sold this book. We actually gave the book away to everyone who bought that cookie. Remember? We had a cookie.
That was a very cool cookie.
It was a cool cookie.
That was
It had
Melinda's
the
idea.
book cover on the front of on top of the cookie.
Yeah, book cover.
So
of
if
the
they
cookie.
paid $5 for a cookie, we gave them the book.
Yeah.
She
I thought
says
that
you
was
need
cool.
to sell books.
I know.
We're working on that. Book 2. So that was his goal. And so knowing that meant we don't have to push to be in the bookstores yet. We got all this stuff still to do, but our goal was to get visibility, which online works best for visibility. So Russell is a New York Times best-selling author more than once. He's been in the top 10 every time we've ever done any promotion. He's been
That Labor Day
in the
was a
top
good
10.
promotion.
It was. It was a
Yeah,
great
you need to talk about that. Is that on your list today, or is that some future
social
day?
media,
That's a
Amazon.
future day, then.
Okay, future day. Okay, we'll talk about Amazon launches and promotions another day.
Okay.
So the
You'll
second,
need to make sure you get on that. On one day, Sandy got 3,500 of my books downloaded. That was a good day.
that was a very good day.
I got the
Very
number
good.
for that.
And how many? And all that weekend, we did the entire Labor Day weekend. You had like 7,000 or 8,000 downloaded.
Yeah,
the
one
whole
day,
time.
3,400.
One day, 3,400.
3,500. That was great.
And then one time you had like 20,000 clicks on the Google link that we set up. So
Right.
yeah, so we've had some.
So we'll
had
get
some
to that
fun
subject
experience.
not today.
So do you
right?
guys push each other to like bring out different?
Well, one of the
things?
things he's pushed me on is doing more with Kindle and, well, for CreateSpace first. Because I would go to CreateSpace, do the messaging, upload the books, upload whatever they were asking for at the time.
Right, because I was kind of between practicing law
Yeah, I
and
know.
trying to get the book out. It was pretty overwhelming. That was one of the main things that Sandy saved me on, is I had to have someone help me get the book.
Well, it required
out
a
on
lot
Amazon.
of monitoring. We
I
had
know,
to
I
every
couldn't
day
do
go
it.
check to see what all Amazon, what CreateSpace say today. Did they send us something for us to download?
Right.
So we constantly did that. We filled out that whole application thing together.
Well, I'm at court.
Yeah. So it was fun, but here's the thing. I had never actually done the Kindle stuff or the CreateSpace stuff myself before. I'd always paid somebody to do that. So this time, because I'm doing it with Russell, I did it. So I'm experienced now. I can get books on CreateSpace or Kindle.
She's an expert now.
I'm an
Okay.
expert now.
What's
So,
number 2?
Number 2 is, so once you have your goal, know your goal, number 2 is have a plan of how you're going to implement that goal. So Russell's goal was to get visibility. Okay, how are we going to do that? We're going to put it on CreateSpace so it could be so it could be ordered and shipped. We're going to put it on Kindle so people can get the ebook. We're going to plan. We had a launch plan that we went by, and there's certain things, and a lot of this information. Thank you, Pamela Hutchins. She teaches when she does a. We have to have her on sometime too, because she really helps independent authors with some of those details.
Last year she did a Houston Writers Guild Day.
Did you go?
Minot did.
Oh, Minot did. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. So so that's the second thing. Have a plan. And follow that plan. And so there are lots of ways you can have a launch. We had a launch plan. We had a plan for implementing.
We did
had
a lot of Kindle
fulfillment plan.
advertising.
We did a lot. Amazon advertising. Is that Kindle advertising?
Yeah, the
okay.
Amazon.
So that's another place that you stretched me.
That's right.
Because Amazon with Kindle, has this advertising program that works similar to Google Ads.
And if you're going to launch your book, you've got to do it.
You know, here's what I learned about you, and I've told you this several times, but one of the things I love about Russell is he gets it. You know, you get how this is a system, and you got to play by those rules if your book's going to be successful there. So Amazon is the rule maker right now as far as getting things online, and we follow their rules. And one of them is the more you advertise with them, the more you promote with them, the more you follow their suggestions,
Plus, it's
the more they help you.
Right, and it's an incredible way to target.
It is.
I mean, you can get, if you can use their program, and you can advertise for a few pennies each click to the exact people that buy your book. You can know the type of
Everything,
people
yes.
that buy your book, and every time they get on Amazon on the ebook list, you can advertise your book with them.
Yes, and we did that, and we did that for you got a lot of ads in there, and you get a chance to go in and put whatever comment you want, limited number of characters.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, that was tough, but we did that, and you saw some results from that. You saw book sales from that. You saw visibility from that. So all was good, and we saw Amazon responding with more stuff. So that was good. So that's number 2. Have a plan, implement that plan. Number 3 is promote, because there is no breaking. There's no time to say, okay, I'm going to take a break for a few months, because then you really, in this world we live in, you start over again.
Yeah, they're not forgiving.
They're not. They
It's
forget
awful.
you in a hurry.
And you get tired of having to do it.
You do every now and then, but you.
That's why you find people to do it for you.
I know.
Yay! Like a publicist.
Yes.
And like a social media person. Amy's been doing all of your social media stuff.
Amy, what is your job with Sandy?
My job?
Yes.
I am Director of Projects, Social Media Management / Marketing.
A great job. She
This,
makes sure.
this beautiful face right here is one that doesn't. This one. Right here.
She makes sure you can still follow all the Twitter people you want to follow.
I know.
Even though he
She
harps
fell
on me
off of
all
that
the
thing
time.
last weekend.
All the time. He likes to send little reminders. It's okay. Everyone's human.
Yes.
But, and that's something you get sick of. It reminds me, at the last writers conference I went to, there was some author talking about social media.
Yeah.
And a young man that was a writer in the middle of the audience stood up in the middle of the audience and said, "What? That takes all your time." And the
It
answer is,
does.
yeah, it does.
It does take a lot of time.
You have to be patient and wanting to be on it all the time.
So
that's for sure.
between working to make money and writing and reading and family,
You have no life.
you got to find some other time.
You need more hours in the day.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
The 4th one is build relationships. Okay, you want to have a relationship with the people that are your potential buyers or readers, and you want to have a relationship with the media, with reviewers. So everybody needs And then we didn't talk about the Amazon reviews on the books. That's a very key part of the Amazon promotion, is getting reviews.
That's part of the algorithm.
It's part of the algorithm, and that's where you get it, that algorithm.
Right.
So, in addition to the Amazon reviews that we all want and we ask for and all of that, there are people who have a name that have a following, and you want those people to know that Marilyn exists. So this has been fun for us because a lot of people do have followings, and they started out by taking Marilyn Murder for Me with them, and
On
then
their
posting
trips.
on their trips,
Right.
and then posting, here's Marilyn on
The first one was Jamaica.
Jamaica,
Right.
and then Marilyn's been everywhere.
Greece Islands.
It really
that was our best one. The
It was
Greece Islands.
that was nice. Although Portugal had some nice ones too. So Marilyn has traveled, and as Marilyn travels, we promote and we build relationships with people that will continue to promote.
And in fact, this weekend at an NFL party, one of the ladies on the main committee said her book club was going to read my book, and they asked me. So see, and it's just a
Nice.
constant thing.
Go Russell.
So we don't have time to talk about all the different ways to promote, but book clubs is a good one. Book clubs, bookstores. However,
contact
the
us.
most visibility comes from online. So bookstores, book clubs, readers, one of the things we always encourage them to do is post their reviews, share anything we do. So we have a great following that does that.
So
And
what's the fifth?
a lot of them are Amy's family.
What's your last one? That's true.
The last one is, and this is my secret to success, and I've shared this far and
We're not
wide.
talking about conferences.
So we're sharing a secret?
I love sharing my secrets.
Sharing is caring.
I love sharing my secrets.
Take note, people. Sharing is caring.
Persevere. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I know somebody famous said that at some point, but I've adopted that for authors, because if you think you can get in there, write a book, publish it, and market it for a few months and then go back to your lifestyle that you were living, or go back
wish
to
you
writing your
could do
next book,
that.
I wish you could too.
I can't.
But you wouldn't need me if you could do that.
No,
so.
I wouldn't.
So, perseverance, patience, perseverance, keep on keeping on, whatever it takes. And so to do that, because it does get lonely if you're doing all this yourself,
I couldn't do it myself.
it would be difficult.
I couldn't have done. I couldn't have got the book out, and I certainly couldn't have publicized it without you. Couldn't have done it.
Well, thank you. That's good. So I couldn't have made it this far without you, because
I know,
you
I've
pushed
told you
me
that.
all
Oh, you
along
guys
the
are
I've
way.
so
told you that too, didn't you? About 100 times.
So sweet.
We're not sweet. Amy,
sweet.
No,
you
no,
need to
no.
cut her pie.
That is not sweet. Trust me.
They're sweet.
That means he gripes at me. He
That's
loves
right.
that
True.
word. He gripes
This
at me.
is a true statement, but we still love Russell, so it's okay.
No. So keep on keeping on, keep on persevering. So start out with a goal, then have a plan, then promote, then get reviews, and hang in there, because if you want to see yourself as a Amazon bestseller, New York Times bestseller, then you have to keep going.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.